You are standing in your garage at 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, holding a $200 pressure washer you bought used off Facebook Marketplace from a guy named Curtis who was moving to Arizona. The box still smells like someone else's basement. You haven't told anyone, not because it's a secret, just because there's nothing to tell yet. Nobody taught you this was a business. You just noticed your neighbor's driveway had 2 years of grime on it and thought, someone should fix that. Then, someone should fix that. You post on Craigslist, driveway cleaning, $75. One reply in 4 days. A woman named Denise, 2 streets over, needs her driveway and patio done before her daughter's graduation party. You quote her $120 for both. She says yes before you finish the sentence. It takes 3 hours. Your arms ache in a way they never have from a desk job. When you're done, the concrete looks like it's been replaced. Denise stands there with her hand over her mouth. I didn't know it was that color underneath. She pays cash, plus a $20 tip you didn't ask for. $140. For 3 hours. On a Saturday, you would have spent doing nothing. Currently, the average side hustle in America earns a worker around $810 a month. You don't know this number yet. You'll learn it later, as confirmation, not motivation. The second job comes from Denise's neighbor, who saw the driveway from her kitchen window. The third comes from a flyer at the hardware store. By month 1, you've done 11 jobs. Most are $75. One is $310, a commercial lot that leaves you sunburned in a way your coworkers ask about on Monday. You net $1,140 that first month. Your actual job pays $2,166 every 2 weeks. The math sits in your head at your desk on a Tuesday. $1,140, weekends and only. You don't quit. You don't tell your boss. You just keep saying yes to Saturdays. By month 4, you've bought a second pressure washer, gas-powered, $650, and a used trailer for $400. You paint yourself in the driveway on a Sunday. Then a man named Wallace calls. He owns 4 rental properties and needs them washed twice a year, ongoing. You quote $220 per property, per visit. He says yes without negotiating. A signal you don't yet understand means you priced too low. $880 twice a year from Wallace alone, and he mentions your name to a friend, who mentions it to someone else. This is how it spreads. Not marketing, just people talking about a driveway that used to be gray. By month 7, you're turning down jobs. You sit at your kitchen table on a Thursday night with a spreadsheet you built yourself, and the numbers say something you're not ready to hear. This is bigger than a pressure washer and a Saturday. You hire your first employee in month 9. Terrell, 19, needs steady cash. You pay him $18 an hour, which feels like an enormous risk. Money leaving your account before you know if the job will happen. You don't sleep well that first week, not because the number is large, because it's the first time money has left your hands for someone else's labor. Terrell shows up, every time. Within 2 months, you're running 2 jobs at once on Saturdays, and your revenue nearly doubles without you scrubbing a single extra square foot. By the 1-year mark, you've done 214 jobs. Gross revenue, $61,000. Net, after equipment, gas, and Terrell's wages, $34,000. Your day job, same 12 months, paid $52,000. You don't tell your boss. You tell exactly one person, your cousin Alonzo, over beers, and even then you undersell it. It's going okay. What you mean is it made 2/3 of your salary in your spare time with a machine that cost less than your car payment. Alonzo asks the obvious question, why are you still at your job? You don't have a clean answer. The job feels safe in a way the business doesn't, even though the numbers say the opposite. You quit 14 months in, not dramatically. 3 weeks' notice on a Tuesday. By Friday, your desk is empty. The first month running the business full-time is harder than any before it. More time means more decisions, not more ease. Should you buy a second trailer? Hire a third guy? Raise rates? You're making these calls with no business degree, using a spreadsheet from a YouTube tutorial at 1 a.m. You raise your residential rate from $120 to $165. You lose exactly one customer, an older man named Herb, who says he'll do it himself. You gain 4 new ones who never blink at the number. This is the first time you understand, not theoretically, but in your gut, that pricing isn't about what things cost you. It's about what people will pay to not do it themselves. By month 18, you hire Priya, who used to manage a restaurant and turns out to be better at scheduling than you are. You hand her the calendar and watch 3 hours a week disappear in the best way. You buy a second rig, $6,200. Financed, the first real debt for the business. It terrifies you for 9 days, then stops, because 2 rigs running at once nearly triples your capacity. Wallace introduces you to his cousin, who manages 11 commercial properties. You quote $2,400 per service cycle, 4 cycles a year. He negotiates you to $2,100. You take it. Recurring revenue with almost no marketing beats, squeezing out an extra $300. That single account is worth $8,400 a year. It just runs. By year 2, you have 4 employees, 2 rigs, 6 recurring commercial contracts. Gross revenue, $312,000. Net, after payroll, equipment, and insurance, $118,000. You sit with that number the same way you sat with Denise's $140. Quietly, at a kitchen table. Your parents still think you run a pressure washing company, something modest. You've never corrected the language. There's a specific loneliness in this. The bigger it gets, the fewer people you can talk to about it, in a way that lands. You hire a 5th employee, Deshaun, in month 26. He lasts 11 weeks before 2 customer complaints, and a scratched Mercedes cost you $3,100 out of pocket. It's the first real financial mistake. Not a cost of the work, a cost of trusting the wrong person. You don't talk about it with anyone. You adjust your hiring process, start a paid trial day, and move forward. By month 32, 6 crews run across 2 counties. You've stopped doing manual labor almost entirely, which took nearly a year to accept, because some part of you associated the spraying with the value until you understood your value was now in the systems. You hit $50,000 in monthly revenue for the first time in month 34. An ordinary Tuesday. You're in a small rented office above a dry cleaner, looking at accounting software your bookkeeper insisted you finally use. The screen says $50,240 for the month. There's no champagne. Cheryl, your bookkeeper, glances at the screen and says, "Good month," the way she'd comment on the weather. She's seen bigger numbers from other clients. To her, this is Tuesday. To you, this is the number from a $200 machine, bought off a stranger, moving to Arizona. You think about calling Denise, actually, more than anyone else. You don't have her number anymore. It's been 3 years. So you close the laptop and drive home past the hardware store where you bought your first degreaser, past the strip mall where the $310 job left you sunburned. Your girlfriend, Marisol, asks how work was. "Good," you say, the way you always do. Undersold. She's used to it by now. That night you can't sleep. Not from stress. From something closer to disbelief that won't settle. You go stand in the garage, mostly empty now, the equipment living at a rented lot across town. There's a faint discoloration on the concrete floor where the original pressure washer used to sit. You never cleaned it, which strikes you now as strangely appropriate. $200 became $50,000 a month. not overnight. Through Denise's driveway, and Terrell showing up on time, and a $3,100 mistake with Deshawn, and Priya taking over the calendar, and Wallace's cousin negotiating you down $300 a cycle on a deal you took anyway, because the math still worked. Currently, most small businesses that survive past 5 years share one trait more than any other. The founder kept reinvesting instead of extracting early. You didn't know that statistic when you started. You just kept plowing money into the next rig, the next hire, because pulling money out early felt, instinctively, like eating the seed corn. You think about your old desk job sometimes, the $52,000 salary that once felt like the ceiling of a reasonable Tuesday. You don't feel superior about leaving it. Mostly, you feel a quiet gratitude that you didn't know enough to be scared of a $200 machine and a Craigslist post nobody answered for 4 days. Most nights, driving home past the same hardware store, you still don't quite believe any of it, which might be the exact reason it never stopped growing.